Hello boys, today we're just going to recap on algebraic expressions quickly on chapter 6 and chapter 8. Before we carry on, I just want to recap that you make sure that you can remember the following. A variable is exactly what it states. It's either a, b, a x, a y, a p or a m. You don't have a fixed value. So that's why we call it a variable, because the value can vary. What separate terms from each other? Remember, a plus and a minus separate terms from each other. That's the only signs, not a multiplication of division. It's only a plus and a minus. Numerical coefficient, I don't know if you can remember that. If we have a term, for example, 2x squared, the numerical coefficient of x squared will be equal to 2. That is the constant in front of the asking coefficient. In other words, from x squared, everything in front of x squared is 2, so the numerical coefficient is 2. Like terms, I don't know if you can remember what separate terms from each other. The variable plus the exponent must be the same. In order for terms to be the same, the variable and the exponent must be the same. So let's just going to recap quickly. Write down the numbers of terms in the following expression. So if I give you the expression of 3 plus 2ab minus 4ac plus 6bc. If that is the expression, there is one term, another one, another one, another one. Therefore, it is 4 terms. Why? Because a plus and a minus separate terms. Please remember that. A plus and a minus separate terms. So let's carry on to another example. If we have the following expression of 6df minus 7 plus 9b times 2c. Another important thing that comes in here is BODMAS. Alright, so you can remember that you must do this first because there's a multiplication. So if we add these terms, it will be 1, another one, and this is one term. So therefore, there are 3 terms in this expression. Alright, and then the last one will be bracket a square minus d times, we will have c cubed minus 2d. To determine how many terms in this expression, here I have one term because it's of the bracket, and there I have another one because of the bracket, and I have a times. Therefore, this is one term. Alright, now to put this into context, we're going to study the following expression. Right, the expression that's given is negative 3x squared plus 12x minus 25. So remember the expression, eh? Negative 3x squared plus 12x minus 25. Now they ask, how many terms are there in the expression above? Remember what separate terms? A plus and a minus. So therefore, there are 3 terms. There are 3 terms in the expression above. Alright, if we go to the next question, they ask, write down the numerical coefficient of x squared. Now if you look at the expression, negative 3 is the numerical coefficient of x squared. How do I calculate it? It's everything in front of x squared. Remember, it's negative 3. It is not only 3, it's negative 3. If we go down to the last one, what is the value of the constant term? Now the constant term is the term without a variable. Now if you can, that's why it's important to know what is a variable. Alright, a variable is, like I said before, it can vary from, the value of a variable can vary. Now, what is a constant term? It's a term without a variable. Now, if we look at our expression above, negative 25 is my constant. Why? Because it's a term without a variable. Therefore, negative 25 is my constant. Alright, now if you look at the last question, they ask, what is the value of the expression if x is equal to 2? Now, so everywhere where there's x, we're just going to substitute it with 2. So what is my expression? It is negative 3x squared plus 12x minus 25 plus 12x minus 25. So that is equal to negative 3 times 2 squared plus 12 times 2 minus 25. So that is equal to, remember BODMAS, 2 squared is 4. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12 plus 24 minus 24, and that is equal to negative 12 plus 24 is 12. Minus 25 is negative 13. Alright, so there's your homework on page 67. Sorry, this is just page 67, number 4 to 6. We were going to mark it tomorrow in class. So when we go to chapter 6, I want you to go to chapter 6, algebraic expression. Alright, now we're going to substitute again. We're going to use substitution. Alright, if x is equal to 3 and y is equal to negative 2, determine the value of 2y squared minus 3x. So what does it mean? Everywhere where there's a y, I must substitute it with negative 2, and everywhere where there's an x, I must substitute it with 3. Alright, so let's go. If you carry on here, it will be 4 times negative 2 squared minus 3 times 3. Boys, remember this is times. It's not 33. It is 3 times 3. Alright, so we will go and do some BODMAS here. So that's 4 times 4 minus 9. Because how do I get the 4? Negative 2 squared. Negative 2 squared is 4, positive 4. You don't say 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 and square that. Alright, negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16 minus 9, and that gives you 7. Alright, that is substitution. Now, I don't know if you can remember, the next one, you all make the same mistake. Subtract 5m plus 6n minus 4p from 8m minus 2n minus 7p. Now the common mistake that you make, you're going to state this expression minus this one. Alright, but please, it is not the same. For example, if I'm going to tell you, subtract 1 from 2, okay, it is 2 minus 1. Now, it is exactly the same with the algebraic expression. How to remember that? It's very easy. The expression after from, the expression after the word from. If this is the word from, the expression after from is always first. So I will say 8m minus 2n minus 7p. I'll subtract 5m plus 6n minus 4p. So please remember, the expression after the word from, you write first. So that is equal to 8m minus 2n minus 7p, and there's a invisible negative 1. That changed all the signs inside. So that's negative 5m minus 6n plus 4p. Alright. And that is equal to 8m minus 5m is 3m. Negative 2n minus 6n is negative 8n, and negative 7p plus 4p is negative 3p. Alright, then the last two is also one term, 36p squared divided by 9p squared. That is equal to 36p squared divided by 9p. And now to simplify this, 9 goes into itself once, into 36 4 times. Here I have 1p on top, I have 2, so that is only 1p left, so my final answer is 4p. Alright, then we go to the last one. Alright, remember it's one term, but I can rewrite this as 14p squared over 7p times 2p cubed. Alright, so let's simplify this. 7 goes into himself once, into 14 twice. That p cancel with 1p, so I have a p on top left, times 2p cubed. So I have 2p times 2p cubed, and that is equal to 4p to the power of 4. Alright, so the teacher will just translate this, the homework, page 83, number 5 to 7 and 9.